righty. Hello there, Aldana. There you go. You're multitasking, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that's what you do when you're a small operation. You share a lot of different things. Hey, everybody, welcome to BnB Live, a sustainable fair trade network where we interview different business owners of fair trade and also interesting people. We have an interesting person to introduce you to tonight. So I want to welcome you. And if you're listening after the fact, thank you so much for listening. And we have my brother here, Kevin. He's an Air Force veteran as well. And yeah, go Air Force. He and I give all those Marines in our veterans group at church a hard time.
Yeah.
As they should get.
Right, they should.
I've witnessed that on 2 occasions. I think the last time was when you guys did your fajita fest that you do, and seeing all of you all together hanging out, and you guys are that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, because it was like somebody who's never walked into that environment, they have to be warned. I think I warned you guys. I'm like, you have to duck because the spears are going to fly.
Yep.
And there was actually one time when we had Janie Lighty. I miss her so much. She passed away from breast cancer, but she came and entertained us and I told her about it, but afterwards she was like, "Do you guys do that all the time?"
That's our MO. That's what we do.
Yeah, because somebody walks in, Marine Corps here, bust out the crayons. Oh yeah, Sheriff Force, blah blah blah. So yeah, but since we're Air Force and Air Force, we won't be throwing any barbs at anybody. But if anybody of our veteran brothers and sisters are listening, just know that we have your crayons if you're in the Marines, and
Gonna go through your whole list,
right?
aren't you?
Yep. All the time.
Anyway, so like if you saw the preview about Kevin, he's got quite the resume. We could say he's an Air Force veteran. He's a football coach, a high school football coach, and we'll talk a lot about that. And he also bakes things, but you know what? He didn't bring me any cookies.
Oh, right.
It happens. It happens. I'm
It's
sorry.
too hot to bake right now.
I owe you.
In your defense, though.
See, we've heard this before.
But you know, I'm good for it.
You got a lot of IOUs.
We're starting to pile up right
he
now.
owes me like I think a chocolate
cakes, cookies.
Probably some cupcakes. I'm gonna tack on a few things.
add it on.
Fine. But he bakes the most amazing cakes and cupcakes and
nice.
cookies, and people will ask him to bake all kinds of cakes. I saw it in the picture that we had of him. He was holding a Marine Corps cake.
Yes.
It was her birthday. I was being nice to her.
Right. But the cakes are so good, just really flavorful. So, but he also we call him a miracle man because it's been about 2 years now, right?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago he had an lvad inserted. It's what does it stand for?
Left ventricle assist device.
Yeah, so it's a device that's attached to his heart. As a matter of fact, I have a I don't know.
See, I can turn that in. I'll see if our audience. Okay, yeah, you're doing good shot there. There you go.
Yeah. So he has that down so I don't have to hold that. He had some heart failure, and you were in and out of the hospital a couple of times, right, before that?
Quite a few before that. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and actually there was one time during COVID that he was in the hospital, and nobody could go visit him, and he was right down the street from me, and we were all praying for him, and we couldn't go visit him because they would only let family members in for a little while, right? It was like one family member.
Yeah.
And so none of us could go visit him, and then something happened to me where I had this pain like right across here, and it wasn't like a chest pain. It was like some kind of inflammation or something. But I went to the ER because it wouldn't stop. It kept flaring up, and it was like I was like, "Ooh, gosh, this hurts. I don't understand what's going on here." Where'd they put me? They put me on the same floor.
Same floor, same. Yeah. Who knew?
So did you guys? Did you get to see him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that a slick move you were trying just to?
I don't know. I was like, I'm texting him. I'm like, I'm in the ER. I'm like, they're doing all this hard stuff. It's not my heart, but they're doing all this hard stuff.
Yeah.
They put me up on the same floor with him.
Wow.
And they were running all these different tests because they couldn't figure out, because I would be sitting there and then the pain would come and it was just some fire. Like I've not had endometriosis, but I would think it was like, it just that it was so painful. They gave me some like really strong medication to make it go away, but they wanted to do a bunch of tests to make sure it wasn't my heart. So I got to,
that was a weird week because I know the day before, a couple of guys from the Veterans Ministry were outside, and I'm looking out my window and they're out there saying hi and all this, and they're throwing the football back and forth and all that fun stuff. And then I'm getting your text the next day. Guess where I'm at? Where are you at? I'm kind of down the hall from you. I'm like, what? And I get out my bed and I go see you. I'm like, so this is how you're waiting to finally come see me. Oh, okay. Slick move. I like that. I like that.
Right.
And I haven't had that. I haven't had that pain since. They never could figure out what it was. Haven't had it since. So I don't know. Maybe that was a way I got to come and visit you because nobody could. So. We took a picture and shared it with everybody, and that was funny. But
That was wild. That was wild.
Yeah. So, when did you serve in the Air Force? I forget.
Actually went in 85. Got out in 91. Did service overseas. Part of Desert Storm, at Desert Shield and Desert Storm back then. Had a great time in the service. I mean, being in Indiana and being over in England, traveling all over. The wife, she got to enjoy all the places we went to. Kids were still young, so we were still having our fun bringing the kids with us at that time. So it was, I would love to do it all over again. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, UK was a great place to be stationed because I was there 96 to 99, like about 4 years, the beginning of 96, the end of 99, and and my kids were small, and you could take them everywhere, and there was just so much to see and do.
It was a cultural shock because you go there, and of course you gotta get used to their terminology, their language. You walk around, you see all these castles, like, okay, I remember only seeing these in a book when they're back home, but then you actually there, you're like, whoa, then you see all these signs. Mind the pitch. It's a pitch. What are you talking about? Pitch to me is baseball.
Yeah.
No, man, they talking about the field. Come on, they talking about the grass. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But
mind the gap.
Yeah, mind the gap. Yeah, So it was, but it was fun, just to see, to live in someone else's culture, no matter what country you go to, and then, of course, their food is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep that to myself, so I'm gonna just keep moving on. But we just had a ball. We had a great time out there.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time too. So how long have you been coaching football, and how did you get into that?
Actually, this is coming up on year 28 right now.
Wow.
From Pop Warner through high school. Actually, I've been involved with football since I was 5. So you're talking, we're coming up on almost 50 years of football I've been dealing with. So it's been involved with the sport that entire time. But it started off with Pop Warner and doing my 2 boys as they're growing up through the process. Then they get into high school, then they're in high school. So I'm like, well, let me jump on in, help out.
Right.
And I've been associated with Trebigo Hills since 2002.
Oh, I didn't
Still
know it
there.
was that
So
long.
yeah.
That's
So
a
now
good
my
time.
granddaughter's there, and she's a junior now. So it's like, people have been asking, so what you gonna do when she leaves? I don't know. We'll figure out when that time gets there. So, but it's I love it because I deal with the freshmen. I love dealing with the freshmen, and because you get to help form the incoming freshmen.
Yes.
What their next 4 years are going to be like. Because I had this thing that I tell them. I said, what you do inside those 4 walls of that school determine if you can participate out here in the field or not. So if you don't get the work done in there, you can't do the work out here, period. We tell them just in all aspects of life, because it's pretty much you giving life's lessons during football. You're going to have some hard times. You're going to have difficult times. You're going to have times where you're going to learn how to do with teammates and learn what teamwork is all about. You know, my phrase to the kids, you know, we know it's difficult, especially in the summer heat now. You know, it's going to suck doing laps. It's going to suck doing push-ups. It's going to suck going through this drill and all that fun stuff. Embrace the suck, because that's what football is all about, you know. But it's going to be like that in life too. We're always going to have some sort of difficulty in our lives, and sometimes, well, I don't know how or why Satan likes to do this, but he knows when you having a real bad time, he likes to add it all on you at the same time.
Amplify it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I've been, since I had this heart surgery or this heart issue, ever since then, it's been like I've looked at things at a whole different level where it's like, you know, I don't have any more worries. You know, as far as life is still going to go on. I'm still going to have problems. I'm still going to have issues and bills we got to be paid here and so on and so forth. Life is going to continue to go on. But in the meantime, I'm not going to allow that to upset me or upset my day. You know, it's like, okay, I deal with this, categorize it. Hey, God, I need help with this, and then keep on moving. You know, I have to be to the point where my faith is going to be like, okay, he's going to take care of this. You know, I'm still going to need to do what I need to do, but he's going to see it through. And every single issue we've had, either me individual or us as a family, we've always come through it. Always come through it. And I'm at this point now, like, okay, what have I got to worry about? Satan gonna throw his best darts at us. That goes without saying. You know, and we know that, and we see it to this day. I'm just gonna be like, okay, like a hockey goalie, kick it back and play. Yep, guy got my back. He ain't letting this through. Come on.
That's right. I like that. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's not gonna be easy, but you know, not every day is gonna be difficult either.
Yeah. Of course, you know he likes football. I like football.
We just see things from a different aspect. That's all.
Yeah, we see things from a different aspect. You know, go Cowboys.
And dogs, Browns, let's go.
Are they changing their helmet?
They are going with a uniform change just for 3 games this year, and it's going back to the original all white helmet with the brown stripe, orange and black brown stripe, and it's a different change, which is kind of cool. You know, it's good to see. The biggest thing they're changing, which like I said, I'm a diehard Browns fan, but that logo they had on that field of that, I don't know, elf or what, get rid of that thing. They finally gonna put a dog's head on there. So I'm like, finally, okay. For all the flack we caught from every, I get it. So
let it go.
Yeah. So, but that's how the Browns are. That's our history is. But I mean, you know, we're just still one of the few teams who's never been in the Super Bowl, but we're trying to get there. So, you know.
Well, you know, I mean, Cowboys haven't been in the Super Bowl forever, but those of us who are Cowboys fans, we're still diehard fans no matter what. You know? So everybody got their
without
team.
saying, yes, Cowboys fans all around here.
Yeah, because
in Southern California of all places, but yeah, okay, I'm trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, because
well, you're not originally from here anyway, so
I know,
right?
I'm from Texas,
yeah,
so I was born in Dallas.
So yeah,
I'm going to come by that honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because my son and I went to, we've gone to a couple of games. Last year we went to a couple of games. The year before, I think we went to one game. So last year we went, and it was, you know, we went and saw the Rams and the Cowboys, and we saw the Chargers and the Cowboys, and there were more Cowboys fans in the stands.
It's more of the opposing team at those games than anything else. And I'm still scratching my head on that one. I can't figure it out for the life of me. So it's that's football though.
Yeah.
It's just football.
Yeah, and those were some great games because you know the Rams game we won, and that was great. So it was fun. Of course you want your team to win, but it's always fun just to go. I really enjoy that, and everybody has to have something they enjoy. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of enjoyment, though, too, one of the other things that obviously you enjoy is one of the things that he does, which is baking, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
My mom is the one who got me started learning how to cook years ago, and you know, it's to the point I'm like working my hands, but especially I don't know what it is about being in the kitchen working with your hands. You know, I just like I'm not a perfectionist, but if it's not close to what I like to see, it's like no, I'm not letting anybody see that. Now my family, they love when I have what they call mistakes. okay, we can just keep on making another. We're gonna enjoy this
Make,
one right here.
make another mistake for us
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
can eat it.
You know, and I kind of took that on. You know, started just with 7-Up pound cake. You know, learning because that's a family trait that's been going back decades. I mean, decades and decades. And I've been so focused on that, and I think I did it. Um, the first time I actually tried it, you know, this is back home in Cleveland, and my mom was like, "Oh, okay, you're very good. You know, we try to help you with this." And she, we originally had a written out recipe of what it is, but it's to the point now I know it by like
Yeah.
naming off your social security number. I know everything that's on there, how much, and so on and so forth, and I just do it just blindly now. And I've been doing it over and over. The males in our family, cousins, uncles. I don't know if any of the guys do it, make this cake. And it may, I just never seen it or heard of it. Sorry, fellas, if y'all hearing this, I'm just putting it out there. But, you know, it's this point now, it's like, you know, I just took it on full on.
So,
And I just learned from that point what else I can learn to bake at that point. And it just kind of exploded from there.
you said 7-Up pound cake, correct?
Yes.
Is that when does your family make that? What's the tradition of the 7-Up pound cake? Is it like Thanksgiving or birthday?
It's normally around Thanksgiving, normally, because that's when I normally saw when I was growing up, around Thanksgiving. But now I kind of like need one. They'll ask for it, done. Okay, let me know the date. We'll get it set up for you. But it's still the traditional holiday type deal for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And with me doing so much, people have been asking for so many cakes, and now some pies, and now some cookies. It's kind of expanding, but to a way I didn't think it could get that way. And everybody's like, "Why don't you get your own, you know, your own kitchen and all this stuff?" I'm like, "Man, that's you talking about overhead, you talking about this and that. I'll just do it in my kitchen and still be happy, you know." You know, but it's fun. I get a joy out of it, you know, because it's. I know some people say it's therapeutic. To me, it's like, okay, I get a kick. I put on my best tunes and I'm going to town. You know, that's just me. That's just the way I like to bake.
Besides the 7-Up pound cake, what other recipes do you like the most that you when you're baking? Like what
Chocolate.
what are your go-tos or your signatures? Yeah, like what are your signature
Other than
recipes?
7-Up, I do the chocolate pound cake. I also do a regular 3-layer chocolate cake itself. I've done.
I know, I'm getting hungry.
I'm salivating.
Actually, with that
Because I've
7-Up,
seen it.
I'm gonna go back to that 7-Up pound cake. My sister, Jeanette, actually had a there was I guess a flyer or something to try to enter the Orange County Fair.
Oh, nice.
And this was some years ago. It's like this is about 10 years ago, I think, maybe 15. And she's like, "Yeah, we gonna do this." I'm like, "Okay, you know." She saw it and like, "I think you can do this and you can probably do something good with this." I'm like, "All right." Get in, submit it and everything. Go find out I'm winning a blue ribbon.
Oh, that's
Had
awesome.
no clue. Had no clue. And I'm like, "Yeah, all right. I can do this. This is
There
all
you
right."
go.
Well, how'd you find out? I mean, like you just
Well, she's been going to the Orange County Fair for quite a while now, and they have the baking competitions every year, and it just I said, "You know, this be a good idea to try to see if we can do something with this." And you know, with her guidance, and it's like I can't tell you how many cakes I actually made that week because you know she's like me, perfection. She want to be right and all looking clean on all sides. It looks tan all the way around and everything, and I didn't know I had won until I had went to the fair that day. And this was like, matter of fact, it was the day after they did the voting and all that stuff. And I'm walking through it, and you see, you know, cakes that were certain tiers. You had those that were they had icing cakes, and you had those like pound cakes, you had cupcakes and pies and all that stuff. And I'm looking through it, and I see one. I'm going, what was that
Cute
one?
girl, that looks
And you
familiar.
see second place, third place, and then you see the blue ribbon, and I'm like, Is that my name on there? Oh, that is my name on there, you know. I'm like, well, that'd be doggone. I want blue ribbon. This is all right. You know, this, I kind of took off from that point. I'm like, okay, let me kind of push this through.
Put pep in your step for
yeah.
sure.
I'm been more into really getting more into the artistic type
Okay.
because my granddaughter, Nicole, had a cookbook and it was, she's looking through and she saw a cake and then she said, Papa, I want you to make this. And it was a chessboard cake.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking like, okay, let me see if I can pull this off. And you know, first thing you do, you YouTube everything and Google everything and what all you need. So that's the first time I actually got hooked into Amazon because I had to buy all these molds and everything else. And looking into it, it was easy to make, but you had to understand how time consuming. This is the first time I actually had to use a ruler on how to shave everything and line it all up.
Right.
And I was like, man, this is kind of taking some work on this thing here, you know. And to make the cake itself, that was the easy part. That was so easy. You know, mix it, bake it, come out, shave it, everything's good.
Okay.
It's the molds that took forever because you had to do all the chocolate squares, do all the white chocolate squares,
Oh my goodness.
do all the
very meticulous.
all the palms that are in the white chocolate and chocolate,
Yes.
and then you had to use the chocolate and just mold it together like glue.
Uh-huh.
And I did it for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And took pictures of it, and the family loved it. The family fell in love with it.
The masterpiece was
And
done.
okay, that's cool. And then I did it again with that in competition. That one.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, okay, let me just. And I haven't been in a competition since, but I know I can do it if I can pull it off. You know?
Yes.
So it's just a matter of just having the time to take time to do it. Yeah, you know. So I'm getting more and more into doing various cakes now, and it's as far as signature cakes. But that pound cake, the 7-Up pound cake, that's the main one. That's just the number one. Boom, let's do this.
And that was the thing that kind of got you rolling with
Got me
the whole
rolling.
baking thing, really.
Yeah,
Is that
and,
okay?
A friend of ours got me took us to a jazz concert, actually Temecula Wine and Jazz Festival.
Yes.
And he knew I made cupcakes. He said, hey, you want to do some cupcakes for the musical artists? I said, okay, no big deal. So how many I need to make? And I was originally going to bring like 70 to 80.
That's still a lot of cupcakes.
So I said, okay, I'm
thinking
going to pull this
25,
off. Yeah.
30.
Well, I ended up bringing almost 200.
Oh,
Because I was making so many and I
Wow.
was doing all the designs on it and decorating. I'm like, I didn't know I made this many so I had to go find boxes to put all this in, and then I had to clear out the refrigerator to make room to put those in to keep them cool, and then we had to make sure they stay cool all the way to Temecula and the heat and everything. Yeah. So we get there and we're going through the line, and people in the line looking like, what's in those boxes?
All
man?
the boxes you got.
Yeah, I said I got the cupcakes.
Follow this guy.
Yeah, and Michael Paulo, his wife, pretty much runs the operations of the whole thing. She said, "Oh, Coach, come on through. We got you." It's like people in line, like, "Hey, can we go with? We just gonna help carry it, you know?"
Go.
Yeah.
Let me carry that box. I'll walk out this way.
I did it, and they all loved it, and made actual pound cake to go with it. And it just happened to be the one time that we didn't know that. We knew all the artists that was going to be there, but you know, you really get to meet them. So I got to be in the meet and greet and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
And Patrice Rushen was there.
Oh, love her. Forget
And she's now I think she still is currently a dean of music at USC. And she's like, okay, who made this pound cake? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk. And it's kind of kicked off from that point on. So it's
Love it.
I'm having fun with it, and you know, I got the chance to do it again this year. I took more cupcakes out to it, and everybody like, who made these cupcakes? And so I think this may be an actual yearly thing now. I mean, we missed out the time because of COVID kind of jacked everything up for everybody.
Right, yeah.
But now everybody's finally getting back into the swing of things and back to their regular schedule, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's where we are right now with all that stuff.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
So
it's
cool.
like he's always like, we have a little chat in the veterans group, and he's always posting pictures of the cakes, and
Yep, little teasers, huh?
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
Man, when's it coming by the? When you gonna bring it by the church? What's going on?
There you go.
yeah, when are you gonna bring it by
Yeah.
to my house? So I'm like,
Yeah, she wants some of the cupcakes. The chocolate cake sounds amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
the 7-Up pound
you
cake.
made the
everything.
cupcakes for the Heat Fest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Very
I got some cupcakes then.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in addition to this list of, like we talked about, you being a miracle man for sure, and a baker, a coach,
Yeah.
a veteran, another thing that has been added to your list, from what I understand, is a podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, just started that. Just kicked that off yesterday.
Okay.
It's what how it began was with the lvad, and I'm gonna tell this story about the lvad because that's what actually led
Yeah,
to
let's
Yeah.
get
So-
into to how you ended up with that and exactly what it is and the
Yeah,
whole surgery and everything.
Hold on now, put your seatbelt on. 'Cause
All
I'm
right.
really interested on this one.
All right, y'all, put your seatbelt on.
Several years ago, roughly about 7 to 8 years ago, this all started with a simple eye exam.
Wow.
Eye exam. And the ophthalmologist, Dr. Kathleen Anderson, I'm giving her a shout out because without her, who knows where I would be today with this situation. And she started with just a simple question: do you get much sleep? And of course, you naturally